Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our entitled people. In today's episode, proposing at people's wedding is not okay. Proposing at people's weddings is not okay, the sequel. Carry-on baggage. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Proposing at people's wedding is not okay. Backstory: my mom and dad split up when I was 12 and I for one was happy that they were separated. They were not bad people, they just weren't the right people for each other. My father still hasn't been remarried, though he is dating someone RN, don't really like her, but it's my dad's decision. My mom started dating a year after the divorce. She met my now stepfather, SF. He had a son who I became quite close to, considering my biological brother went to live with my dad while I lived with my mom. So when my mom announced her wedding, we were all excited. So then SF's son becomes my official stepbrother, SB. Okay, we're done with backstory, onto the real story. My SB and his girlfriend of 3 years were getting married. Now, girlfriend just happens to be my best friend, so I was extremely excited for them. I was chosen to be the maid of honor, and my biological brother, BB, was the best man. We were all that close. My SB's best friend, asshole, was one of the groom's men. I never really liked him because he was a total creep and always tried to hit on me when my SB wasn't there. SB is quite protective, so I didn't tell him or he would have been arrested for murder. Also, I can stand up for myself. Anyway, once I finally got a girlfriend, he stopped annoying me. So during the planning of the wedding, nothing crazy happened apart from the normal wedding stress. We invited almost everyone we knew and it was going to be great, or so we thought. The big day arrives and everyone is ecstatic. The ceremony was beautiful and everything went great. Then the reception came. It was going great. The groom and bride plus the bridesmaids and groom's men were all seated at a table at the front of the venue while the guests were sitting in front of us. So they were facing our table. Everyone was giving speeches and enjoying the food. Then out of nowhere, a stand up and takes the mic and says he has something important to say. We're all confused as he had finished his speech, but let him talk. I wish we hadn't. He asks his GF to come up to the table and I already knew where this was going. He starts a speech on how much he loves her and how they were meant for each other. She's smiling, but I think she didn't want this to happen now of all the times. He then kneels down and pulls a ring out of his pocket and asks her to marry him. She say yes. They start running around showing people the ring, all the while my best friend, BFF, looked like she was going to cry. My SB and BB were whispering to each other. I couldn't hear what they were saying. Finally, my mom gets up to remind everyone that this was her son's wedding and that we should stop talking about someone else's engagement. Everyone was quiet. Suddenly we hear this banshee scream. The girlfriend started screaming and crying, saying my mom had ruined her special day. Then he began screaming at us too, claiming that he did nothing wrong. They got kicked out in the end. My brother lost his best friend that day, but he didn't really care cause that idiot lost all his friends. I'm also gonna be a bit petty and say they can even have a wedding because of COVID-19, so hope they're happy. Sorry about this horribly formatted post and hope enjoyed reading this story of two dysfunctional humans that are a pain to this earth and humanity in general. Bye. Wow, what a bunch of shitheads to try to steal someone else's special and say they ruined my special day. Well, it's common sense not to do that shit. I know, right? We still get angry texts from them. That's a completely different story. That ranks right up there with the selfish pricks who announce a pregnancy at someone else's wedding or baby shower. Total douche move. Well, to be fair, I now hope OP's BFF and SB do exactly this at A's wedding, assuming they even get invited. It's bad enough that the entitled pair did this at someone else's wedding. What makes it well beyond the pale is that they are not even related to the bride or groom. What a pair of selfish, self-centered plunkers. Right? The classic excuse for this nonsense is, but all the family is here. There is nothing more trashy than proposing on someone's wedding day. Like seriously, save it for another time. In private, in public, at a beloved restaurant. Anywhere else other than a wedding, extra trashy points if they do it as a funeral, although I refuse to believe some people would go that low. Proposing at people's weddings is not okay, the sequel. So a few months after the wedding, my stepbrother announced that they were expecting a baby. Everyone was super excited and congratulated them. A bunch of friends came by our house and started thinking of baby names too soon. My biological brother, invited his friend, F, over. It was basically an early baby shower. I, feeling bored as everyone had company except me, invited my boyfriend, BF, over. Now BF loves babies, so when he found out about the pregnancy he squealed like a 5-year-old who just got a puppy. All was well. That was until one of my stepbrothers, SB, friend posted the news on Facebook or something, basically just declaring the new baby that was to be born in freaking 9 months from now. And since it was online, it didn't take long for the asshole who proposed at my SB's wedding, to find out. After some time we heard the bell ring, so like any natural human being my BF went to open the door. As soon as he opened the door I pushed him and came barging in. My boyfriend is 19 and quite short or average height, so he couldn't really do much except to call out for everyone to come. When I saw SB he began screaming about how my stepbrother is a selfish prick. And that now that his wife, my best friend, was expecting no one would come to his wedding. My SB seemed surprisingly calm and said exactly this: stop screaming and leave my house. This seemed to offend even more, and what he said enraged me. I can't believe you've become like this. He then points at me: after this Brian Brown *TCH came here, you've changed. Note, I'm not white and brown as my biological father is an Indian, so that make me a mix. I has always found this disgusting, but he still always tried to hit on me. This horrible and messed up behavior of his is the exact reason I never tried to be friends with him. My BB and SB look like somebody had shot me. They are very protective of me since I'm the only sister. I'm not the youngest. BB is younger than me, but in their eyes I'm still a 5-year-old who likes candy. BB walks up to A and says, you do not have the right to come into my house, and then make comments about the skin color of my sister. Leave now before I screw your asshole to a dog and send you on your way. Yes, he actually said that. He tries to scream again, but this time SB and his friends tell him leave. I think the though of being beaten up by 10 dudes who were way bigger than him scared the shit out of him. I ran out, into his car and drove off. Then we all, exhausted from the mental toll this guy took on us, decided to watch a movie. Now I haven't met us since the lockdown, but we get angry text from him and I'm going to typing out some of my favorite ones yet. No, we barely reply to these, so bear with the entitlement of this gentleman. A texts me. Mind apologizing to me, you brown? And why should I? Because you took my friends from me. Okay. Just apologize. How am I a slave? There is nothing stopping me from coming over to your house who whooping that ass of your. So shut up. I don't listen to brown slaves that should be working for me. I blocked his number. A texts SB. Hey SB, what up? Please don't ever text me. Why WTF did I do? Are you serious, RN? Dude just wanted to say that me and girlfriend's name are expecting, so we're asking for donations to help with the child. Goodbye. Hello? Hello? Why the fuck are you doing this? SB blocked him. He still sent angry texts to my mom and stepfather as well as many ex-friends of his. The dude's just crazy. Update, I cannot believe this happened. Okay, so it's June 3rd and A decides to apologize. He sends this really long text to me, SB and BB. Basically he said that he understand what he did is disgusting and that if we don't ever want to see him again it's fine by him, but he wants to apologize in person. So basically he wants to meet us at a cafe. You need to put an order of protection against him or something need to be done about him. Right now due to quarantine I haven't seen him. Though word on the street is that his wife had a miscarriage. But I'm not sure. He may have been an asshole, but he didn't deserve this. Unfortunately, those orders can, from my experience, only be issued after a violent incident actually occurs and also don't really do anything. Wait. Now he and his fiancée are pregnant? Probably deliberately because you're SB and SILR? But they can't seem to afford it, so they want donations to pay for it? How are they paying for the wedding? Keep the threatening texts and report him after quarantine. They will be enough to get you a restraining order. The guy is a psycho. Carry-on baggage. A short one, but something I'd never seen or heard of before. I was boarding a 6-hour international flight. I sat down in my seat and found a backpack under the seat in front of me, where my bag and legs should go. My first thought was someone left it from the previous flight. The second thought was something related to finding unattended baggage in an airport. But my first action was to tap the shoulder of the guy in front of me, who was already sitting down, to ask if he saw anyone put the bag there. He told me it's his bag. I again thought he's probably new to flying, so I told him he's supposed to put it under the seat in front of him. Finally, the sentence that surprised me, "Oh, I know, but then it gets in the way of my legs. So I'll leave it where it is, so it's your problem now." A quick "excuse me, I found this bag in the seat here" to the flight attendant, and it was very quickly resolved, but he was very unhappy about it. Mind you, from the time the aircrew sat down to take off, he instantly reclined his seat and left it there for the entire flight, just to get me back. Even during meal service, and refused to put it up when asked by the flight attendant. So I guess he still won? This happened to me because the seat in front was an emergency exit seat and you can't store your bag there. The guy in front wanted to have leg space and still keep his briefcase down, so he put it under his seat. I was just a teen at the time and it didn't occur to me to tell him off or to tell the flight attendant. I did spend the entire flight with my sneakers on top of his briefcase, and when I left I could see his face when he pulled it out and there were shoe prints all over it. One of the most annoying things is when you don't realize until later that you were taken advantage of. In those situations, where the action is malicious, I find I usually have to get up to go to the bathroom a lot, and, being unsteady, I usually have to grab the seat back in front of me to help stand up and sit down. This is my trick too. I also have kids that I typically contain and work very hard to make sure their feet do not hit the back of the seat. Let's just say I kinda wish an arsehole would sit in front of me more often, cause it is a more relaxing flight for me. I would have gotten up every hour and shoved at his seat every time I got up because, well, I need to go. Literally use the back of his seat to pull yourself upright every 20 minutes during the flight due to your cramp would have worked well here too. You should have said, "Okay." Then proceeded to open it up to see what new problems you now own. Not just his way to feel better about losing. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.